Rags to riches stories don't just happen in the movies. Life is never easy as we have our ups and downs. But the most important thing is staying positive and smiling. We know many famous and rich people, but don't know about their struggles. We know their wealth, but don't know their downs. Here are 10 homeless people who became rich and famous. Be ready for a shock of your life. Let's get it on. 1. James Cameron. When Cameron was writing The Terminator, he was barely making ends meet, even living in his car for a time, according to IGN. But his main concern at the time wasn't money. He was determined to direct his screenplay despite his limited experience. When he pitched The Terminator at meetings, the production company said they liked the script, but they didn't like the idea of him being in charge. Cameron persevered and partnered with producer Gail Ann Hurd, who bought the rights to the screenplay for $1 and named Cameron the director. The film went on to make $77 million worldwide. Cameron is currently one of the wealthiest people in the showbiz industry, with a net worth knocking at $1 billion. 2. Jim Carrey. An award-winning actor and inspiring figure, Jim Carrey struggled through a lot before he could reach success. Born on January 17, 1962, in Ontario, Canada, Jim Carrey was born to a lower-middle-class family. His father was a musician and an accountant, and was the breadwinner of the family. But he soon lost his job when Jim was still a young boy, and the loss of a stable income led the family to become homeless. For a long while, the family had to live in a van. This led Jim to quit school at the age of 15 so that he could take a job as a janitor in order to support his family. 2 years later, in 1979, Jim left his job as a factory janitor and began doing comedy acts. He started to make a living at the opening act for Buddy Hackett and Rodney Dangerfield. In 1983, Jim transferred to Hollywood, where he starred in a television movie, Introducing Janet. This was the beginning of a successful career for Jim. He won his first award, the Golden Globe for Best Actor, for his role as the lead character in The Truman Show, 1998. Soon thereafter, he bagged his second Golden Globe for his depiction of Kaufman in The Man on the Moon, 1999, in which he co-starred with Courtney Love. Through the years of Hollywood successes, Jim Carrey quickly became one of the highest-paid actors in the industry. 3. Halle Berry. Before she became an Oscar-winning actress, Halle Berry revealed that she spent some time in a homeless shelter when trying to break into show business. Chatting to People magazine about moving to New York City at the beginning of her career. Aged just 21, she said, "I took my modeling money and I thought, oh, I've got some cash. When you get to New York, 3 months later, I was out of my cash. And I called my mother and I asked her to send me some money, and she said no." The Monster Ball star continued, "That's probably one of the best things she did for me because it taught me." She said, "If you want to be there, then you be there. You work it out." And I had to work it out. You say I can't? Watch me. I'm going to figure this out. And shelter life was part of figuring it out for a minute. Berry is one of the most celebrated models and actors today. 4. Daniel Craig. When you see the English actor Daniel Craig playing the role of James Bond, you wouldn't think he was once homeless and slept on a park benches in London until he got acting jobs. The 53-year-old actor has been famous for his role as the British agent James Bond 007 since 2005. Now he doesn't have to sleep on park benches unless he wants to do so. Craig's father was a steelworker and later a pub owner, and his mother taught art. Following his parents' divorce, Craig moved to Liverpool with his elder sister and their mother, who eventually remarried. His mother frequented the Everyman Theatre and encouraged her son's early interest in acting. He appeared in a school production at the age of 6. The family moved to nearby Hoylake in 1977. An indifferent student, Craig left school at 16 to pursue acting. Today, this man is popularly known for his movies like James Bond. Now he has enough movies in his pocket to say he is one of the most successful actors. 5. Jennifer Lopez. Jennifer Lopez was homeless just months before she had her big break. The 51-year-old superstar was cast as a fly girl dancer on the sketch comedy show In Living Color in 1991. But before she took on her first major gig in Hollywood, Lopez revealed she was living rough. Lopez and her mother often argued about the life decisions she made, but the star couldn't help but live out her dreams. My mom and I butted heads. I didn't want to go to college. I wanted to try to dance full time, she explained to W Magazine. So she and I had a break. I started sleeping on the sofa in the dance studio. I was homeless, but I told her, this is what I have to do. A few months later, I landed a job dancing in Europe. When I got back, I booked In Living Color. I became a fly girl and moved to LA. It all happened in a year. 6. Hilary Swank. It's hard to believe now, but Oscar winner Hilary Swank was once homeless. Following her separation from Hilary's father, her mother Judy whisked the teenager off to Los Angeles in hopes of making her a star. The million-dollar baby actress told CBS News, she was at her crossroads. My father and her were getting separated, and she said, let's go to California. And so, with $75 and a mobile card, we drove down to California. For a while, the pair lived out of their car until they were able to afford to move into a flat. 7. Sylvester Stallone. Before Sylvester Stallone got his big break with the Oscar-winning boxing drama, Rocky, the actor was forced to spend time living at a bus station after he was kicked out of his New York flat. As a future action legend explained to Total Film, I was broke and basically sleeping in a Port Authority bus station for 3 weeks straight. Instead of doing something desperate, I worked for 2 days for $200 and got myself out of the bus station. He was even forced to sell his dog for $50 because he was so hard up. But don't worry, this story had a happy ending because a film star bought back his four-legged friend for $3,000 when his acting career took off, and he finally had some cash in his pocket. Phew! Before revealing the final 3 celebrities who were homeless before making it big, kindly subscribe to our channel if you haven't done that yet. Also, give us a like, share the video, and don't forget to turn on the notification bell for timely updates of our latest uploads. Let's continue. 8. Chris Pratt. Before Chris Pratt became the Hollywood heartthrob we know today, the actor was sleeping in a van. At the time, Pratt was living in Maui, Hawaii, and working whichever minimum wage job he could get his hands on. In an interview he gave to the independent newspaper, he said he remembered it as pretty awesome place to be homeless, adding, I worked minimal hours, 15 to 20 hours per week, just enough to cover gas, food, and fishing supplies. You know, it was a charming time. Chris was 19 and working as a waiter in the Bubba Gump Shrimp Company when actress and director Rae Dawn Chong, who was casting for Curse Part 3, asked the handsome waiter if he would come to LA for an audition. Pratt got the role and is now one of the most bankable box office stars in Hollywood. 9. Ed Sheeran. Before his music career took off with the release of his debut single A-Team in 2011, Ed Sheeran gigged relentlessly to get noticed and had to sofa surf at friends' homes as a result. On occasion, he even had to sleep on the London Underground, according to his book, A Visual Journey. Nevertheless, he later told several media outlets that he didn't feel homeless was the right word for what he experienced, saying to one, I went without a bed for some nights. That's it. It's just that I didn't have a place to stay those nights. So I slept on the Central Line and outside Buckingham Palace. That's just what I did. Ed now owns properties worth over $80.7 million. 10. Shania Twain. When she was younger, country superstar Shania Twain spent time living in a homeless shelter with her family. In her 2011 memoir, From This Moment On, Shania opened up about her childhood growing up in an abusive household and living for a time with her mother and siblings in a homeless shelter in Toronto. After leaving their family home, Shania recalled, Mom got out of the car to use a payphone while we sat and waited in the car. returning a few minutes later with a piece of paper on which she scribbled the address of a homeless shelter. That night, we slept in a crowded, sweltering place on cot-like beds spread out along the walls of series of spacious open rooms designed for large groups. Shania went on to overcome such adversity and win an impressive 5 Grammy Awards. There we go. Did you enjoy our video? Who among these stars inspires you the most and why? Well, if you enjoyed our video, be sure to subscribe to our channel for more of our amazing content. Please give us a like, share the video, and don't forget to turn on the notification bell for timely updates of our latest uploads. We value your feedback. Feel free to share your thoughts with us in the comments section below.